Hello everyone, this is allLogarihtmsWereCreatedEqual, and as you know, I'd like to make a video on some thoughts about graduation. Now, as some of you may know or may be able to infer, I just recently graduated from high school, as of the uploading of this video, or as of the publishing of this video. But the main question I'd like to pose is, should someone in my position be proud for having graduated from high school? Here's my argument that I hope you consider. Point 1. Schools deliberately try to inflate their graduation rates, making it less of an accomplishment that one actually graduates from high school. So, as a demonstration of this, schools tend to have many kinds of programs by which students can effectively bypass some of the more rigorous ways of meeting graduation requirements. Mainly, they try to sort of inflate, they try to make their graduation rates higher, perhaps for political reasons or to... Perhaps I don't understand the full reasons, but just to illustrate the point, if you go to the website of the school system I've been a part of for the last 12 years, and if you scroll down, you'll see about this school system. And they have statistics. They have the number of schools in this public school system, the number of students, the number of staff, and they say 93% of all students graduate. And beside that, they have 85% attend college after graduating. So, well, this is very interesting how this is the considered sort of the most important thing about a school system, by some people at least. But it's something I think we should question a little bit more. Whether we need school to be 100% compulsory for all students. But in addition, point 2, it is something that society finds most acceptable that students go and stay in high school for several years, through grade 12, when they are about 18 years old. No more, no less. Now, I would argue this may not be the best decision for everyone to go to high school and then college. It might not be economically efficient for some people, and that's just the argument I'd like to make. Maybe you don't need to invest all that time and money for, certain jobs, for instance. So from an economic standpoint, it might not be best for everyone. And you also should bear in mind, economics is actually just a very interesting subject. It's one of the best classes I've ever taken. One of. But there are things to consider. Well, I've basically summarized it. Basically, with every action that we people choose to do, there is always an opportunity cost. There is always the value of the second best thing, the alternative that was sort of foregone, or the thing that was not chosen. And that's the opportunity cost. So you always should consider, in theory, the opportunity cost of the decisions you make. That's the whole idea of economics, actually. But I'd just like to pose the question, why exactly are we requiring every student, and should we actually be requiring every student to go through this same process for a set number of years? Just so that we can say a statistic, 93% graduation rate. And also, 18 years. My impression that 18 years is a very arbitrary number. But I suppose that's just a side note. Point 3. The fact that I graduate does not in any way demonstrate my individuality. And this is sort of a bit of a broad one, because the thing about it is, if I were to say I graduated, that just has less meaning now. And one idea is the insignificance of that, just because, millions, perhaps hundreds of millions of people have already graduated from high school. So it just makes it so insignificant. And to be proud of something as basic as this would be equivalent to being proud of something that such a large number of people have already done. I don't know about you, but being proud of being part of such an insanely large, broad set of people seems to be not something that's particularly meaningful, not something that's, not something of which we should be proud, honestly, to put it bluntly. Point 4, the fact that I graduate does not in any way really mean that I'm more hardworking than anyone else. Arguably speaking, I'm about as hardworking and capable as I was back a year ago. And though it is a stretch, I could also argue that multiple years ago, I was about as hardworking as I am now, as well. So it's another thing to consider that, people develop at different rates and at different times. So I don't think that high school graduation really even signifies anything in that respect either, in terms of hard work, or in terms of maturity. Point 5. The fact that I graduate does not in any way demonstrate the true achievements I've done. I just like to make the point that, everyone has a passion, is my belief, at least. Whether they know it or not. Whether they know what it is or not. I think that a lot of us, if not all of us, have passion for something. Something they love to do, and they're good at it, or good at learning about it. It's something we should be more aware of, I think. And I'm personally not convinced that the school system, the public school system, tends to recognize those sorts of things enough. But I think that, along with our individual passions, I think each of us has some kind of achievement that is important to us, and that distinguishes us a bit more, relatively speaking. Kind of makes us more unique, shows what we're really about, shows what we're really interested in, and I think that's sort of the one of the more important things in life is what is your passion, and what basically what do you live for to a certain extent. And I think, again, those sorts of things are not really addressed really at all when someone says they graduated from high school. It's just such a vague sort of thing, and it doesn't it doesn't show the true achievement. It doesn't show any true, at least from my perspective, my opinion is that it doesn't really, that statement by itself doesn't show a true achievement that someone had done. But then again, I don't mean this in the judgmental way. I suppose if people had a very difficult high school experience, then that's one thing. And point number 6, overall, it does not bring any marginal peace or happiness to me, other than fulfilling just a minimum action which society requires of me. And that's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but I just want to retain my sanity and my individuality as a human being. I, like many of you viewers, am simply trying to find a place where I am accepted, and to find meaning in my life. And one avenue by which I've managed to do that is by making these videos. The internet, in fact, has largely offered me access to communities that accept me. So I suppose what I'm saying is thank you very much for watching. It might not seem like much to you, but it means a lot to me. It honestly means a lot to me. And hopefully, with high school having ended for me, I can make videos more frequently and make them higher quality as time goes on. This is allLogarihtmsEqual. Yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any comments, let me know. And that's about it.